Alright, well what's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. I do apologize that it's been so long. I'm trying to balance making YouTube videos with all the other stuff in life, so I apologize about that. Please bear with me. But we are back, and today we're going to be talking about probably the most commonly asked question I get, which is why did I choose the Kona N over the Veloster N and the Elantra N? I've gotten a lot of people asking specifically about the Elantra N, but a few others have asked about the Veloster as well. And I wanted to cover with you guys some of the similarities and also some of the main differences that drew me towards the Kona N rather than the other two. So without further ado, let's hop right into it. Alright guys, so I'm basically going to start the video just sharing some of the things that really drew me to the Kona N, and then you'll kind of see why, through those reasons, why I kind of was led astray from the other two. So the very first thing that caught my eye with this car was simply how it looked. Especially compared to the other two, this one has more of a rounded and curved body style, which I've always been a fan of. I've never been a super big fan of like the jagged edge, like really straight edge sort of crisp cut look, especially like the Elantra N has. I'm not saying it looks bad, it's just not my style as much. I love the way the fenders look on this car. I love the way the rear end of the car looks. I think the front end with the daytime running lights and the big LEDs and the blacked out grille, just all of that looks really good and crisp and clean to me on this car, as compared to the other two. The Veloster, I think it looks pretty good. One of the things I really disliked about that car was it had that one passenger, like that rear passenger door, and then there wasn't one on the driver's side. It was just like a super long driver door. That kind of threw me off. I didn't really like that. I didn't see how that'd be very practical, so that was one thing that kind of drew me away from that car. But moving on from just the exterior styling, because that's probably obviously a given. Everyone's going to have their own opinion on that. Moving over to like some of the functionality, one of the things I really liked about the Kona is it has two things that the other cars don't have. So it's ready to have like roof rails put on top, which I think is super functional and practical for, you know, putting an extra cargo up there if you're going somewhere, if you're moving, or if you're going on a road trip. That's obviously super awesome to have. And then the other thing is it's actually the only car in the N lineup to have a power driver seat. So I really love that. For this being my daily driver, I wanted something to be as comfortable as possible. So this is not only like multi-directional power driver seat, but it also has lumbar support. So pretty much as comfortable as it's going to get. All of the seats in the N cars do have great seats. They're all nice, very nice, and they all have that same material of like Alcantara and leather. But I just like the seats in the Kona N the most. They hug you so comfortably, and yeah, I just really love the seats in here. So that actually was one of the biggest things for me too. Now another thing that kind of goes along with practicality is the rear portion of the car. So in the Kona N, I'm able to have like a split between the seats, to where one side can go down and the other can stay up, and vice versa. And the Elantra N, you're not able to do that. If I remember correctly, they're all just one solid piece. So you can only like move all three seats down at the same time. They're all just one big piece. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that's what I saw in a video I watched. And not only that with the Elantra N, but when you do put those seats down, you just have that that X brace. I think it's probably there to stiffen up the chassis a little bit, and you know, it's kind of cool because it's like a street performance car, right? As are all the N vehicles, but that just to me wasn't very practical because it kind of gets in the way. You know, my wife and I, you know, we eventually want to have kids, so the reason the Kona N seems so practical is because, say I did need to store something in the back, but I also needed to have a car seat available, you know, I wouldn't be able to do that in the Elantra N, and that's something that I kind of wanted to future-proof for my, you know, my wife and I when we do have kids. So another big thing for me. But beyond, you know, the practicality, the exterior styling, the back seat, all that stuff, I think the biggest thing for me was the fact that because all of the vehicles have the same engine, you know, they're all right around the same power. I wanted the one that seemed the most unique, and to me, that was the Kona N. Not to say the other two aren't unique in their own way, because they definitely are. But what I mean is, this car is really the only one in its class right now, in terms of being categorized as like the crossover SUV platform. And that was really what drew me to it, because it's not every day you're driving around and see, you know, a $35,000 performance crossover SUV driving on the road. I mean, there are other performance SUVs, but I mean, if you're talking about, you know, any other car, Acura MDX or whatever it is, that's going to cost you way more than this car will. And so I know a few other cars are coming out right now. You know, Ford's got something, Dodge has got something in the works, but I think that this is just the most unique out of the three, and that's really, really ultimately what drew me to it. And I'll also say I love the color of this car, the Sonic Blue. Again, that was my preferred choice, and everything about this car just kind of embodied what I wanted. And so those are probably just the top few reasons why I chose this car over the Elantra N and the Veloster N. So anyways, guys, I hope that helped draw some distinction between the vehicles, especially if you're someone watching this and, you know, looking at the N lineup and you just wanted to be able to choose between which car. I hope that just kind of showed you what's different, what's available on all these cars, and how similar they can be, but also, again, how different they can be. So that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely be on the lookout for our next few videos coming out. I got some really exciting content coming out for you guys, probably the most exciting that the channel's seen yet. I'm going to make some big changes to the car here within the next couple weeks and months, so definitely stay tuned for that. But other than that, I will see you guys in the next one, and again, stay tuned for those are exciting. See you guys in the next one. Bye.